Hello, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. Today I've got quite a fun card for you. It's one of those ones that looks wow but actually isn't too difficult to make. So let's show you the card. There we go. And if I can hold it kind of that you can see it, it's always difficult on camera, but it's actually got that bit that's loose. So when it's standing up, which I can't get, that swings a bit. Now, I just want to tell you that I have adjusted the measurements. This one, those steps were just a little bit too high. So the measurements that you've got are actually correct and you won't have that showing. Now, I'm using the new Decorative Trees stamp set. And we have matching dies. I'm also using the Countryside Corners dies. Okay, so these I use a lot for this card. I use them a lot for everything. I love those dies. And I've already used a whole heap of this, but I've got the Season of Elegance DSP. So you've got a piece of cherry cobbler, a cheap piece of pretty peacock. There's two different very vanilla ones, and there's two different old olives, which I don't have any left of. So the two old olives look, no, these two are the same. They look, the one has this design, which to me looks a bit like camo, and the other one is that design. So I've made quite a lot of cards with this paper, and it's gorgeous. Every card just lands up looking elegant and sophisticated and beautiful. So you're going to want to get your hands on that paper. I've done a little bit of prep work here just because I don't like cutting on camera. So you're starting off with your piece of cardstock that's cut in half lengthwise. You're sticking your front layer of Designer Series paper onto that. And then I'm taking my second largest Countryside Corners die, and we're going to cut that out, try get it kind of in the middle, and we're cutting that piece out completely. Okay, so we can just put that to the side for a minute. Then I'm taking my scoring tool, my trimmer, okay, and I've got a long side and a short side here. So on the short side, we're scoring every 1.5 centimeters or half an inch. Okay, so 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, and 7.5, and that would be a half, 1.5, 2, 2.5. Okay. And then just while I've got this, we've got this little square, and it's not really necessary to score. You could just fold it in half, but seeing that I've got this here, I'm just going to score it in half. Okay, that's all my scoring and cutting done. And then we're just going to accordion fold along those score lines. And I did have a bone folder here. Big surprise, I don't know where it is. Here it is. So just give it a good press with that bone folder. Okay, now I'm taking my piece that I'd cut out and my little square that I just folded in half, and I just need to double check which way this wants to go. Yes, alright. So with the folded edge at the top, we're going to stick this And I'm being quite generous with the glue here because I want it to hold really well. I want that design up at the top, so we're just going to stick this along the top of my countryside corners cut out. Now this should be pretty much the right size here. If it isn't and it's poking over the edge, just trim those edges off so that that's lying flush. And then we're going to take my folded piece and we're going to stick it there. Just again double checking. I don't think it really makes a difference, but I'm going with the unfolded edge going up on the card. Okay, so we're going to stick that along that edge and lining up the edge of my step with the edge of my card. And see there, that looks much better where we don't have the top poking out the card. And then we're going to put some glue on this edge as well and close that. Alright, so just give that a couple of seconds for the glue to stick. Now I'm putting glue on this back edge of my little flappy piece here, and this came out of this hole, so it's going to fit directly back in there, so making sure that it's fitting in and it's where it's supposed to go. And we're just going to let that glue stick there as well. Okay, there we go, and my bit's now flapping, or can flap if it wants to. Beautiful. Now next I have another piece cut out, so this one is with my third smallest country corners die, because the smallest one is sitting over here, because I'm going to talk to you about that one when we get to the sentiment. So third smallest country corners die, just a piece cut out of the pretty peacock. And I have a tree that's been cut out of my decorative trees. Let me show you those dies because they're also absolutely beautiful, with lots of options. So you've got all these cut out different overlays to go onto the tree. Right, here's the piece that I was looking for, and I do have a few of the little bits that haven't pushed out, so let's just quickly poke out. That looks good. Now you can use adhesive sheet on here, but I just found that it's quite difficult to with the adhesive sheet. I normally love adhesive sheet, I'm sure you all know that, with anything that's a bit lacy, but with this I just find it makes it more difficult to push out all those little pieces with the adhesive sheet. And I think that there is enough solid bits that you can just put a little bit of glue on it. So we're going to put some glue on, and that fits exactly over that tree. Go. And dimensionals. Now when I use these trees and I'm using dimensionals, I like to use big ones and small ones, because I know that some people only use the small dimensionals. I use both just because, like, up at the top there, I feel that it needs something, and a mini dimensional is perfect. Okay, so we can just pull those backings off. And my tree can go onto there, and some glue behind that countryside corner, and I'm going to stick that onto there. Now I have my sentiment, and that's from that Decorative Trees stamp set as well. And what I've done is, it's obviously a little sentiment, so I've stamped it, and when I've cut it out, I've positioned my die that the writing is towards the left. Cut it out once, and then I'm going to go and put that die down again and cut it again. So trying to get roughly even spacing between them, and we'll land up with that. So we're going to just put a little bit of glue behind that over there and stick that across the tree, but just move it over a little bit so that it's sort of in the middle of my die. Right. Now, this is my largest countryside corners die, so I'm going to just take some of, again, these stars are in the stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp some across the two corners. And we'll glue that and we need some bling. Here's my star, because you always need a star at the top of the Christmas tree. And on that one I used some of the baubles that I'd cut out from, again, from that Decorative Tree dies, but I think for this one I'm going to just use some of these gems, and I need to order more of these. These are the adhesive backed sparkle gems, and we just need a few of them floating around the tree. Oops. No star. Obviously didn't give that glue enough time to grip. Stay. There we go. And there's our card. So we have that in the two different colours. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed this card. It should be really easy to make. And I will see you again next time. Until then, bye.